Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. A rectangular prism is filled with 196 cubes with half unit side lengths. What is the volume of the prism in cubic units? So it's helpful if we kind of visualize the situation here. When we're talking about a cube with half unit lengths, that means that the edge here is a half a unit. So how many can fit across a full unit? Wouldn't it be two that fit across a full unit? And how many of these can you fit in a full unit cube? And I'm hoping that you can see that we would need 8 of those. Now, if you don't know where that 8 comes from, if we cube 1/2, that's the same thing as doing a half times a half times a half. And just 2 times 2 is 4. And if we take the 4 and multiply it by the 2, we get 1/8. So the product of all of this is 1/8. And if you think about it, isn't that cube on the left 1/8 of the cube that's on the right? Because we need 8 of these to make up a full unit cube. So that should make perfect sense to you. Now, if we want to know how many of these we need that would be equal to 196 of these, it's my hope that you see that we would need fewer of them. So we're going to multiply 196 by 1/8, which, by the way, is the same thing as taking 196 and dividing it by 8. So let's use a calculator just to speed things up. 196 divided by 8. Does it work out evenly? And it does not. Okay, it does not work out evenly. So we know it goes in 24 times. So this is going to go in twice. Get the 3 left over. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so we subtract, we get the 3 left over. And now we bring this down. All right, and then 8 times 4 would give us 32. Subtract, and we get the 4 left over. So the 4 would go here, the 8 would go here, and all we need to do is simplify that because this answer choice is not simplified. Divide the numerator and the denominator by 4 to get 24 and something over something, and that will match one of the choices. Now, there is another way that I want to show you that we could do this, and it's the idea of proportions. So let me erase all this. If we use proportions, it's still kind of take into account, the idea that we have that one, what I call that 1:8 ratio. For every one full cube, you need 8 half cubes. And if we use proportional reasoning to solve this same problem, when we talk about the 196, is that a full cube or is that a half cube? Let's look again. It's talking about half cube. So we'll put that number right here for the half cube, and we're solving for full cubes. So if we use proportional reasoning, we might use cross products. This times this is 196. This cross product going this way would be 8 times f. And when we're solving equations, we always ask ourselves, what's happening to the variable and what's the opposite of that? What's happening to the variable? It's being multiplied by 8, so the opposite of that would be divide by 8. And if we were to solve this, the 8s would cancel out, we'd bring down the f, and wouldn't we be doing 196 divided by 8? And isn't that exactly what we just did just a few moments ago, right? So it's going to be the same answer. So 2 approaches. Approach number 1 is to go ahead and rethink what this is as volume. So we know that this is really 1/8 of a cubic unit. This is 1/8 of a cubic unit, and multiply that with however many half unit cubes you have. That's one approach. The other approach is use proportional reasoning, where you use a ratio, and the ratio for full to half cubes is a 1:8, and then plug in your number. By the way, sometimes they might give you full cubes and they want to know how many half cubes, so you want to read up the question carefully and make sure you're putting numbers in the right spot. All right, hopefully you found this helpful to understand a little bit about half unit side lengths.